Hey, and good morning. Good morning to the crowd. Good morning to our live audience out there. Thank you for joining BOCI Click and Connect. I am Sherry Henley, founder and CEO of BOCI. How is everybody this morning?
Great.
All right. Well, we have an exciting day lined up, and we're going to start by having one of our executive council come up, Shelley Bauer, and greet you and tell you about yesterday's event at SunTrust Fleming, a collaboration event, the evolution of collaboration. And while you're doing that, I'm going to be getting the pilot up so we can show the pilot of the TV show.
Great. Well, good morning, everybody. How many people were there yesterday? Yes, okay, over half the crowd here, and it was an amazing event. 15 different collaborative partners, from the National Association of Women Business Owners to the University of Memphis. Gosh, it was like 15 different organizations. I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying to say them all. But it was really a great day, wonderful food, of course, and SunTrust did a great job of welcoming everybody. Interesting speaker. He made talking about the economy, the global economy, funny, unless you were Frances, and she had to have a little debate with him on the floor. But it was a great presentation and really, really cool. And it's great to see Rising Fire there. And I'm going to get in trouble if I. Cheryl was there, being the queen, blogging. No? Okay. Well, then we'll write an article for you that you can post. How about that?
I will.
So. The collaboration with SunTrust continues. It was a great day, and for those of you who weren't there, you missed an absolutely wonderful networking opportunity. And Sherry's not ready for it.
Go ahead and greet our guest, and let's get to know one another a little.
Perfect. All right. Well, I see the laughter lawyer right here on the front row. And Deborah, stand up and tell us who you are. And come on up. Come on up.
Hello, I'm Deborah Norwood, and I'm also called Laughter Lawyer USA, and I help professionals in high stress level positions by positive activity interventions and therapeutic laughter, and I help people avoid or prevent burnout by reframing their thinking, by reforming their bad habits, and by reassessing their image.
Excellent. Thank you, Deborah. Let's give her a round of applause. Sarah, come on up. Little Miss Social Media Training Queen.
Hi, everybody. I am Sarah Henley. I am a consultant for BOCI. I also have baked goods in the back, homemade, blueberry muffins free. Peanut butter cookies are 50 cents each or 2 for $1.
And I want to point out, for those of you who missed the makeover in the commercial appeal, this is the outfit. Would you agree that this is the outfit for Sarah? Thank you, Sarah. Come on up, Richard, Mr. CFO. Sorry, everybody's got to come to the front of the room today.
Okay, let me bring out my prepared secretary. That's Sherry's business card. Good morning, everyone. I'm Richard Henley. I'm the designated CFO for BOCI, and welcome to all the new people. Hope those that attended yesterday's event enjoyed themselves. I know you did the lunch, and hopefully you learned something about our economy, but if you talk to 10 economists, you're going to get 10 different answers. But they're all interesting, and you just choose which one you like the most. But welcome all newcomers, and thank you for being here.
Great. Richard, love that suit, too.
Thank you.
Speaking of the economy, you know, you will get a different point of view from virtually everybody in any audience these days, but I am going to focus on doing something in the coming months that's going to focus on what's good about doing business in Memphis. So for those of you who have some expertise that you would like to get some free publicity, I'm going to be blogging about it. And Frances Fabian, I would like for you to be one of the first people that I interview, because you teaching entrepreneurship at the University of Memphis and embracing this city, you know, a very high level of new love. You're one of the people that I want to talk to. So come on up and introduce yourself and tell. It's okay, come on. Tell us who you are. You can save your announcement for
one of
later.
our special speakers.
I understand. I just want her to introduce herself now, since I've done that setup.
Well, okay, I'm Dr. Frances Fabian. I'm over at the university. I have been teaching at the university level for 15 years. And Memphis is my home for the last 5 years. I grew up in Los Angeles. I like to say I escaped from Los Angeles. And I've lived in Massachusetts 6 years, Texas 8 years, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., New York, Boston. This is my favorite city by far, and I have a lot of reasons for that.
Thank you very much. Excellent. Don't you love it when you hear an implant come in and say, Memphis is my favorite?
Yeah, we appreciate that.
I'm going to skip over our Rising Fire buddy for just a minute and go to Kay Geller because she's a relatively new member of BOCI. Come on up, Kay, and tell us what you do.
Well, I am just in the process of launching a freelance writing business. I have a background in corporate communications and have done newsletters, annual reports, press releases, employee communications, pretty much everything. I just happened to have brought a sample of my work today, which promotes my husband. This was a brochure that I published I did for him, and he is a CPA who's looking for small business accounts. And I just thought each week I'd bring a little something different for y'all to take a look at.
Okay. If you do one of those for one of our people, are you going to be a proponent and promote them like you're doing your husband? Because that will probably get you some business right there.
Anything your rules allow, I will.
There we go. You can do that.
So I look willing to discuss most any project with anybody.
Great. Thank you, Kay.
Mike and I are in the same B&I chapter, so it's delightful to finally meet his wife and know that she really does exist. Marcus, come on up. Tell us about you and Rising Fire Productions.
Rising Fire Productions, we are a full-service video production company. We help customers through concept, planning, development, and promotion of any video that we help them with. We work at very reasonable rates compared to most other production companies in the region, and everyone absolutely loves our work, and we love what we do, and we put a lot of passion behind it, and always make sure that what we do is the best possible product that we can make.
Wonderful. And it's true.
I'm caught talking in the back of the room. Melissa, come on up and tell us about you and what you're doing. And look at those cool boots.
I know.
I have to come up with her for just a minute. You know, Shelley, I'm going to have to rain on your parade. No.
This is a blessing ring.
All I want to say is that Melissa is sponsoring me, everybody. I am now drinking, it's pink, it's not coffee, okay? For all the viewers. Yes. It's Slim. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, we'll be watching. Okay, I'm going to get out of the way and let you talk.
You're going to get out of the way and let me talk. Well, my main focus is, yes, it's about getting healthy, but it's also about a philosophy of making Memphis slim. Because there's a lot of things going on from a health standpoint in the city, and this is just one hope. But there are a lot of good products out there, and you never know what may help somebody. But I was in a position where I thought, I'm not ever going to do anything that's really going to affect my weight. And I found something, drinking a bottle of water every day, is taking off about 50 pounds. So when I get another 40 off this year, then I'm going to go, yeah, this stuff must work. But the neat thing that I want to encourage is we're going to have a big opportunity event. The president of the company is actually coming to Memphis on Wednesday night, April the 17th. And so we're going to be doing a lot of opportunity productions and getting the word out to invite people, because it is a great product. It's a great opportunity to help people get slim.
Cool. Yeah, we can give her a round of applause for that. Thank you. Sybil, come on up and tell us about you and what you're here for.
Hello there.
Hello.
I am Sybil Marie Presley, the Tennessee Stress Buster. And I do comedy, and I'm a network marketer, and I have a business called Stress Buster Enterprises. It's a business, service, and product referral network. So you send me people, and I give you some money, and you can list your business on my site.
Did you say you give us some money?
If you
Did I
send
hear
me,
you say that?
yeah, if you send me people to use my services and products and everything, and then I'll do the same for you. Send people to you, then y'all can give me a little tip out of that. So my slogan is, if I ain't got it, forget it.
I love it.
And this is my book, The Soap Opera Grill. I'm a writer and an author, and just started on my first comedy DVD. I'm on YouTube, youtube.com/Sybil Presley. So look me up, and I'm on Facebook, and I'll sit down, and we'll be back after this word from our spot announcer. Thank you, Spot.
You were so cute. All right, now I got a team I got to bring up. I got to bring up BW and Clarice. Come on up.
Yes.
Come on. You get one, you get the other, right?
Yes.
Amen.
All
All right, here you go.
Well, I'm Clarice Burnett. They call me Pastor's wife. So you can imagine what I do. I help in all we do. And what we do is help nonprofits and businesses save money on products and services that they use all the time. We call them essential products. Or we show them how to make money from those same essential services. Do you want to make money as a nonprofit? Yes.
What she said. I'm the other half of our team. I'm Pastor B.W. Burnett, and we'd like to communicate with all nonprofits and churches out there because, again, funding is one of the things that we need to keep our ministries going, and we want you to know that we have a solution to that. So, again, Pastor's wife, Clarice, and Pastor B. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm happy to tell you that a very good friend of mine just walked in the room. I was in Baltimore with her last week, and she's not going to say this about herself, so as my introduction to Mary Singer, I have to tell you that she is the regional director for WEBEC certification, and that's the national certification for women business enterprises.
That's amazing.
Yeah. However, what's even more amazing is Mary Singer is one of 14 star businesses in the United States. She was awarded on the stage in front of 1,000 people last week in Baltimore. I am so proud of her. I can hardly stand it. And she's back there blushing, going, I can't believe you're doing this. Mary, come on up here and say hi. We're all about introducing ourselves. Come on. Come on.
Keep clapping.
Come on. Keep on clapping. This is a star. Let's give her a round of applause as she comes forward.
Showtime.
Thank you, Shelley. Wow. My first visit, and I didn't know I was going to walk in the door and be up here immediately, but I'm very delighted to be here today. And as Shelley mentioned to you, the give back that I do for the community is working with women to make sure they're certified so that they can work with large corporations and do much better than just on a local level. And then my business that I love dearly is saving resources, water, energy, doing things to help small and medium businesses learn how to be more successful internally, but doing the right thing for our planet. There's no planet B, so we need to all be very mindful of what we're doing with our resources. And that's my introduction, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Gina, come on up. Tell us who you are and what you're all about.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Gina Davis, and I'm a building better relationship expert. I actually do this with an online system called Send Out Cards. I help small businesses with their customer follow-up. Then I help families get their digital images into print. And I have some samples here today. I help my businesses send out campaigns that market from appreciation. And then I help families get their wedding, family photos and albums all done. It's all done online, and send out cards, prints, stuff, stamps, mails, everything for you. I also do a little speaking, and would love to talk to anyone that needs any kind of speakers, and I do it mostly about customer follow-up, how to do it from a traditional stance, but still be effective in this social media world. So thanks, I'm Gina Davis, and I am the card a day that keeps the competition at bay.
Nice slogan. Thank you, Gina.
Miss Caroline, may I drag you away from the tech team for just a minute?
Give her a round of applause.
Hey guys, never know what to do with this microphone. I'm Caroline Norwood. I'm with CN Photography. I'm also the leader of the BOCI tech team. And I just have to give a shout out to my team that we wouldn't be able to do anything without you guys. Just to let y'all know, I love you guys. But yeah, I'm CN Photography is my photography business, and I travel to you. I love to do events and family photography and anything that you guys really just need me to do. Just give me a shout out and send an email. My email is cenorwood@live.com. Thank you.
Awesome. She did some rockin' great photos for Mary's event here recently here in Memphis for We Back at Duncan Williams. Okay, Delmar, come on down. Come on up.
Thank you, Shelley. Good morning, everyone. I am Delmar Johnson with Delmar Johnson Enterprise, and my focus is HR consulting for small businesses who are ready to establish themselves as employers of choice and help them with their develop their HR policies and procedures. And I'm also a career coach. My passion is for those who are in career transition, and I will be starting workshops very soon too. So that announcement will be coming out.
You're an author.
Oh, she likes to call me an author, Sherry, because I have a journal collection that I'm developing. And journaling actually is therapeutic, not only physiologically but psychologically. And I'm trying to get that word out that it all connects with what you're doing in your business as well as your career.
What's the name of your journal that you already have published?
Actually, I have two. One is Journal and Save My Mind, Feel It, Own It, Release It. That was more of a personal statement for me. The one I'm going to be doing with the Church Health Center Conference that's coming up with the nurses pre-conference with Wavonia Woods Harris is for your health and wellness, prescribed to hope and happiness. So that's my second one that's coming out.
Tell us about yesterday's radio, and tell us about being a founding member of BOCI since almost the first event.
Oh, most definitely. She has to keep me on track. I'm kind of groggy today, so forgive me. I'm usually a lot more lively than this. Yes, yesterday I was the guest host for BOCI Radio. That was very interesting because one of our guests didn't come, so I had to fill in 30 minutes. Well, actually the whole show was an hour. The last 30 minutes, it's like, I had to think on my feet. Okay, I'll think on my hind part, but I'm sitting down. But anyway, I had to think real quickly how to fill that 30 minutes, and fortunately I had some information that Sherry had given me prior to the radio show. It's like, oh, okay, that'll take up 15 minutes. And then the other 15 minutes was taken up with the two guests that stayed online with me. So we finished it off. When you listen to the archives, there's some bloopers in there, but when you go with live radio, you kind of have to go with the flow. So I enjoyed that, and also, what did you ask me to mention, Sherry? Oh yes, I am a founding member. I've actually been around, always say I was either member number 8 or number 9, and we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary in April, so that's going to be really good. That deserves a round of applause. Basically went from 8 to 9 members to over 1,000 now. That's on our BOCI.biz site. businessovercoffee.biz site, and we are excited about that. So there's always a lot of things going on in BOCI, and I'm kind of like her flex gal, right hand gal, because she always has me doing something. Deborah, can you do this? Like, do the radio show. And I think she called me the day before that. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. If you need me to do it, I do it. So I kind of go with the flow with whatever Sherry wants me to do.
BOCI TV host.
BOCI TV host. See, the list keeps getting longer the more I talk, right? Right, so the first Thursday of every month, I am the BOCI TV host, so I interview the professional members that come in there. We have a live audience. We have all these wonderful lights. We have this wonderful live blogger here, Cheryl Hurley, and everything. So there's always a lot of great things going on here. So I told Sherry I'm sticking around till she kicks me out. I want to introduce another one of our Flex Gals. I'm start calling ourselves Flex Gals. It's Beverly Burg, and I'm going to have her come up here and introduce herself to everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm Beverly Borwick, Lori Shine Adornment. I'm supposed to call myself Beverly Borwick Designs. So I'm doing that. I made this lovely necklace, and I went shopping the other day and bought this amazing, oh my gosh, jacket. I brought it home. It was like, it all came together, and I didn't know I was talented in that way. But I do design and custom design jewelry of various styles, and I have a few samples back there if anyone's interested. And I've been doing this for a year and a half, since September, whenever. And I'm a professional Boost member. What's the word?
You are alumni.
Alumni.
Yes.
I'm an alumni. Thank you.
Thank you, Beverly. I actually modeled one of her pieces of jewelry yesterday. It was very nice. The cameo. I don't know if any of you have seen her cameo work, but it's very nice. We just had one of our newest professional members walk in. Graham, would you come up here and tell us your experience so far? You haven't been around for a month. And tell us your business as well.
Impromptu. I'm Graham Stuckey, I own Seal & Ducks, and I've actually been a member for less than 30 days, so it's kind of caught me off guard here, but I'm glad to be here, and I can see the value, I really can, of being a part of this organization. Anyway, just take a minute to get my 2 cents worth in. We do energy efficiency, improve your home, make it a lot more energy efficient. And one of the main things that we can do is get you $500 back from TVA. I mean, that's always good to have money.
Break that down for us.
Okay, I will. What normally happens is you'll have to have TVA come out to your home, and you'll pay them $50.
What is TVA?
Well, there you go, Tennessee Valley Authority. And
There
they're
we
the
go.
ones that sell electricity to Memphis Light Gas and Water and North Central Electric, even Tipton County, through the Tennessee Valley. Okay, they're the ones that produce electricity and sell it to us. It's a government organization, all right? And they are willing to pay up to $500 to have your home made more energy efficient. And there's good reasons for that, for them to actually pay you to do that. And but that's what I do. I can probably save you 20-30% on your utility bills, which helps pay for it. And it's the right thing to do. It's good for the planet. I guess that's the thing. It's the greening of the planet, and it is the right thing to do, but it pays you to do it. Anyway,
Thank
call us
you.
a Seal & Ducks, SEALNDUCT.com.
You know, I see some collaboration with you and Pastor Burnett.
I
You do a
was
lot of the same
sitting over here
things.
saying
Also,
that.
we have Mary Singer in the back that works a lot with that type of thing. So I love collaboration. What do we do here at BOCI? We have
Connections, collaboration, exposures, and business.
And we are
Bringing
bringing everyone together. I would like to welcome our virtual audience to BOCI Click and Connect. This is our third Thursday event. Welcome all of you again. And we are going to, Bob Burg is coming live in 15 minutes. So we are going to take 5 right now. And we're coming back, Marcus, to you. And we're coming back to our teams. We haven't forgotten anybody yet. But I would like to take 5, and it's the social media 5. How many of you have a smartphone? Okay, get your smartphones out, get your iPads out, get your computers out if you have them. And Pastor Burnett, come on up and take us through the first social media text that we are going to do together.
Fantastic. Well, social media is just up and coming right now. And the smartphone is the way to go today because, we can't walk around with our laptops all the time, right? So what we're going to do today is show you something very simple, very easy to use that'll be beneficial for you and your business as well. Take your smartphone and we're going to text. We're going to all send a text. and I'm going to give you a short number. That number is 55469. Go ahead and enter it into your phone right now, as if you were sending a text. And the message that you're going to put in that is BOCI Cruise. BOCI Cruise is your message that you're going to send to this number, 55469. And just go ahead and send it.
No spaces.
No spaces.
BOCI Cruise.
BOCI Cruise.
Okay,
And when
while
you
they're
get
doing
that,
go ahead.
yes, when you get that, you're going to get a little link back on your smartphone, and just hit that link, and it's going to open up something very amazing for you.
Awesome, thank you so much. And this text push, Pastor Burnett, this text push is something that you introduced to us at BOCI,
Yes.
and that we are also offering to our members. So I encourage you to talk to one of us about getting this for your business, and then we'll be able to tell you the reasons why you need it, okay? But while you're doing that with your smartphones, Deborah Norwood, Laughter Lawyer USA, and also an attorney at law, so good to have you here as usual, one of our executive council ladies, I won't say councilman. Anyway, she is going to tell you about the cruise, and then we're going to talk a little more about April later on in the day, okay?
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. As you know, I'm Laughter Lawyer USA, and I've already explained to you a little bit about what I do, but I do have a strong testimonial about BOCI, and I want to take 5 seconds to tell people about my testimony of BOCI. I came here through networking, through Carolyn Bendel. I'm the attorney for Fashion Academy, which is a premier image consulting business, and Carolyn Bendel is the person that does the makeovers for the commercial field, and we have representatives all over the United States. So Carolyn brought me to BOCI. At BOCI, I was introduced and put on BOCI TV. Being put on BOCI TV, I met Virginia Rowland from the Ridgeway Center, and Virginia offered to have a therapeutic laughter session for the Ridgeway members. By having a therapeutic laughter session for the Ridgeway members, the Commercial Appeal did an article on my business. So this shows you, in a nutshell, what BOCI can do for you. Now today, it's my great pleasure to talk about our cruise. And this is an amazing event that's going to be bringing everybody together to the port of call of Cozumel. And if you don't have one of these, please go ahead and pick one up. I believe that there is a deadline today for special pricing. Is that correct, Sherry?
That is correct.
So
Today the deposits actually need to go down, $200 per person. The rest of it can be paid out over the next year up until time.
So for those of you who are interested in this cruise, it's going to have a business seminar at sea with Sherry Hurley and Don Lawler, and you'll be able to learn how to
Sherry
take...
Henley.
Sherry Henley. What did I do? I'm sorry. It's just an alliteration there. Forgive me, Sherry.
I only said that because Cheryl Hurley is right beside you.
Sherry Henley and Tom. Cheryl, you must be on my mind because I've been wanting you to help me blog. And I do want you to know that that is one of the services that's provided by Business Over Coffee, and we will talk a little bit more about our member blog program. But right now, back to our wonderful seminar. It's a business seminar at sea, and it's with Sherry and Don. And it says, learn how to take media to the next level with social media expert Sherry Henley, and learn more on how to brand yourself with guerrilla marketing coach Don Lawler. So for more information, contact Stephanie, and remember, today's your last chance to put down that deposit for a special fare. So don't miss the boat. Fantastic.
Thank you so much. All right, we did a little segue there from our social media 5, and I would also like to let you know that we are so excited to have Frances Fabian of the University of Memphis here. She was up here a moment ago, Dr. Frances Fabian of the Entrepreneurship Program. We will have you up after Bob Burg. Are you here through 11 o'clock? The event's until 11? Okay, excellent.
May I interrupt just for a second? I did want to remind everyone, because I'm the lawyer here, and so you always think legalistically, remember that we are live.
Yes.
And so when we do have our little breakout moments, everything that you say in your breakout, in your networking moment, will be caught live and recorded. And so be aware if there's anything that you may want to not disclose and have it aired out to the universe, you know, that may not be the thing that you want to do. So we are here for networking, collaboration, and exchange. So do not hesitate to network and collaborate and talk about your businesses. It will be caught on tape.
Thank you so much. One of the things that I wanted to mention about Dr. Frances Fabian, is that she is here to talk about a business research that one of her PhD students is actually presenting at this time that she would like us to participate in, which we are so excited about. And that would be for our virtual viewers as well. So anyone in the world can participate in this online, I believe. So that will be coming up after Bob Burg presents in about 10 minutes. He will be presenting 5 laws of stratospheric success. Who is Bob Burg? Bob Burg is a national bestseller of The Go-Giver. I'll tell you more about that a little later. We at Business Over Coffee, what do? We work with professionals who want to optimize 3 things. What's the first one? Who said that?
Social media.
Social media. Second one?
Educational exchange.
Educational exchange. And third one? Networking events. And today we are optimizing all of those things for you and your business. And now, get your smartphones out again, and we are going to check in on Facebook at Ridgeway Business Center. That's where we are. This is the headquarters of BOCI. And as a professional member of BOCI, you can get 10% off of the conference room space here or a virtual office. And so I want to make sure you know that a tour is available for you if you would like to go on a tour of the office after the event. And Virginia Rowland, the manager, will be in a little later to tell us a little more about that. Sometimes she gets tied up with clients, which we appreciate that, and is not able to come in. So I'm going to give her that plug for now. So go on and check in on your smartphones. And then we need to let our listeners know, and also everybody in here, you can be setting up your profile in about 60 seconds. It is a complimentary profile on our platform. Go to businessovercoffee.biz and set up your profile now. The other thing we encourage you to do with your smartphone throughout this event is to tweet. Tweet to @BOCoffee, @BOCoffee with hashtag BOCI. Also, when Bob Burg comes on, you can be tweeting as well to @BobBurg. That's BURG with hashtag #TheGoGiver. Now, some of you are looking at me like, what do you mean by tweet? Okay, let me tell you in a nutshell that we have exciting information that we're going to roll out. I'm only going to give you just a little bit of information now, but stay tuned because you will be hearing more about our BOCI certified social media training program. It's a 6-month long and we're launching it in May. You will learn about Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest, Google+, and BOCI platforms. So it's going to be fabulous. So I wanted to make sure you knew that. We are now going to go live with Bob Burg. We will come back and show a little of our pilot a little later and introduce Marcus of Rising Fire, and also have some networking time after Bob Burg. He's going to be taking questions as well. So we're so excited that we have him on board. Remember that we have 30 minutes. Bob will be speaking from 10 until 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then we have another 30 minutes to network, cover a few more things, and to hear about that fabulous research project that we are so privileged to be participating in with Frances Fabian, Dr. Frances Fabian of the University of Memphis. At the time that I introduce her, I will also introduce our live blogger, Cheryl Hurley of The Stylist Quo. You can also tweet to @TheStylistQuo. She is blogging live. She will be blogging during Bob's presentation as well. And we are looking at Bob on Google Hangout. If we can cut the lights, I would like to introduce Bob Burg, the co-author of The Go-Giver, national bestseller, one of the best books I have ever read. It is a quick read. It is a fabulous storyline. And the 5 laws of stratospheric success are a must-know. So for those of you who are watching virtually and those of you who are live right here in this room, this is a life-defining moment to have someone of the caliber of Bob Burg, all the way from Florida. So put your hands together and welcome Bob Burg.
That's so very sweet of you, Sherry, and it's just it's an honor to be here. So, you know, I wasn't sure what the format was. Sherry, did you want to ask me some questions about, I'm not sure if everybody in the room has read the story so that they know what it's about or know the laws. So would you like to have a conversation with me about it, or how would you like it?
Well, why don't we have you present straight from your heart in an authentic nature what the book is about, the 5 laws, and then have an open forum question Q&A with our, I would say congregation, but with our audience here. And we also have live tweets going out, live blogging, and in addition we have the social stream going. So we'll let you know of any questions coming in online as well.
Okay, and what's the hashtag you're using? And I'll make sure to kind of, not that I'm the best multitasker in the world, because I'm really not, but I can, but I'll give it a shot at and look at the tweets coming in. What's the hashtag?
Hashtag BOCI is the hashtag, and we're also hashtagging the Go-Giver as well. We are tweeting to @BobBurg as well as @BOCoffee. And one other thing, Bob, that I would like for you to enlighten everyone about is the upcoming event in April where you will be here actually in person in Memphis, Tennessee as well.
Yeah, sure will. Looking forward to that with Don Hudson on his program. And I don't have the, I actually don't have the information on me right now. And if I was to try to get it while I was speaking with you, you'd see how bad a multitasker I really am.
No problem.
So you can, if you'd like to send that to people later, you certainly can. How many of you in the class, because I can see you now as I'm looking, even though I'm seeing sort of shadows, I can still see people there. How many of you have read The Go-Giver, just so I know if people kind of know the basic story? So it looks like maybe 2 of you have in the class. And so if you haven't read it, that's okay, because the basic laws and principles work just as well whether you've read the book or not. If you've read it, you'll kind of understand a little bit more what I'm referring to from the start, but don't worry if you haven't. Basically, it's a story, it's a fictional story based on real things that have happened, but it's a fictional story about a guy named Joe, and he's a young, up-and-coming, aggressive, good guy who's kind of frustrated because as hard as he works, he doesn't feel as though he's really getting the results he feels he deserves. And he ends up meeting a mentor by the name of Pindar who introduces him to some other people, and Joe learns a very basic and very valuable lesson in business and in life. And I'm sure many of you have already discovered this yourselves. And that is that shifting one's focus, and that's the key here, shifting one's focus from getting to giving. Now, when we say giving in this context, we simply mean constantly and consistently providing value to others. And so doing this, you could say moving from an I focus or a me focus to an other focus, always trying to look at ways to add value to others, is not only a nice way to live life, but it's actually a very financially profitable way as well. And let me ask a question because I see the screen freezing up. Can everyone hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you can see the screen freezing up or not, too. It might be just my computer, but as long as you can hear me, I'll keep going. And
we can hear you and see you, so you're good. Everyone, welcome Bob Burg. Come on.
Is my screen frozen up, or am I speaking in real time? Are you seeing me move in real time?
We're seeing real time.
Okay, then it's my screen. And so Joe learns these lessons through 5 laws. Now, first, there's a couple of questions people often ask about this, because when we talk about that basic premise, it sounds a little bit naive, shifting your focus from getting to giving. You know, is that really, isn't realistic? Isn't it naive? Isn't it a bit unrealistic to believe that today's day of self-absorption, corporate scandals, and dog-eat-dog competition, that one can actually give their way to success? And that was basically Joe's first question, by the way, that he asked Pindar, his new mentor. In other words, in the real world, not the world we wish it would be or should be or perhaps even could be, but in the actual real world in which we live, isn't that just simply naive? And what Joe came to discover was that not only is it not naive, it's very practical. Because when you can move from that, when you can step outside yourself and move from that I focus to an other focus, when you can focus on meeting the needs of others, what happens is people are attracted to you. People feel good about you. People know you. They like you. And they begin to trust you. And they're interested in being in relationship with you. They're interested in adding value to your life. And it works out for everyone. And we call people like this, of course, go-givers, and they tend to be the most successful people financially and in the other areas of success. And success certainly encompasses many areas than only financial. There's financial, physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, social, relationship, lots of ways. In this vernacular, we're talking, in the business context, we're talking about financial, obviously. And you know, we often hear when you bring that up, somebody's thinking or somebody's saying, well, you know, money isn't everything. And of course it's not. It's just, it's a means of exchange. It's a way of making one more free to do the things that they value. And money may not be everything, but as Zig Ziglar most famously said, you know, it sure ranks right up there, you know, with oxygen. And so that's very important too. So the question though that gets brought up is, okay, so are you and John David Mann? John David Mann was my co-author and really the lead writer and storyteller, and he's just a brilliant, brilliant storyteller. I tend to be more how-to in my orientation. John weaves a great story. And people will ask, so are you and John saying that really what this all comes down to is nice guys, nice gals, nice people finished first? And the answer is no, that's not what we're saying. Now, don't get me wrong, being nice is a great thing. Being nice is also very helpful. In this world, it's much easier to be successful if you're nice. And when I say nice, I'm meaning genuinely kind. Because again, people like you more. They're attracted to you. They want to get to know you better. But being nice it certainly isn't enough to be successful in and of itself. And I think I can say that with confidence because you and I, everybody in this room, we're all business people. We all know plenty of people who we would describe.
Okay, that's all right. That happens with tech. We will get him back on the line. While we're doing that, can we go ahead and have you stream point here? Because we will do a couple of things. All right, for those of you who are watching and for the audience, Bob Burg just lost his connection. So we are going to reconnect. Because are you enjoying this?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So continue to tweet out to @BOCoffee, #BOCI, #TheGoGiver, and @BobBurg. And while we are waiting on him, let's just have a little open discussion here about what he has said so far. Deborah, can you give us some feedback? Sure, you can, and then take some feedback from the audience, please.
I believe that one of the things that is being mentioned here is authenticity. That we as businesses and corporations need to be authentic and we need to be in alignment with our core values. And he's explaining to us that one of those core values is actually to be sincere and to be trustworthy. How do you feel about having your company aligning itself with its core values? What do you know? Sherry, I know you talk a lot about integrity-based communications, and you talk a lot about core values in a corporation. Shelley, you know, I'm having a day today. But I want you to know that I know you.
And I know you too, darling. Well, certainly one of the things that I do is help people actually get in touch with their core values in a particular relationship, and it can also be in a relationship with their business, it can be a relationship with a business partner. And I absolutely agree with you 100%, Deborah. For us to be authentic, we have to know who we are
what we stand for, and there's a point of view that says if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And that's what gets a lot of people in trouble today with ethics, compliance, etc. So to know who we are at our core and what we represent and what our boundaries are, what are we willing to do and not willing to do. Mary, do you have something that you could contribute to that? I know, I'm sorry, you just put something in your mouth, that's not fair.
But I think that what he's saying is about establishing trust with people and not making money your first priority doesn't mean that you can't be effective and you can't be commercially viable. You just happen to have some goodness about it, as opposed to just being a money-grubbing company.
Well, and as his book says, we've got to be go-givers. We have to be willing first to give and give and give. And it's enlightened self-interest, because you may refer some business to me and I don't refer business back to you, but you can't possibly outgive the universe. So if you're giving to me, it's going to come back to you from someplace. And I was just having a conversation earlier today with someone about what their real focus was. Were they in their sweet spot? Were they attracting all the business that they wanted? Or were they now interested in expanding their network? And they said, I am absolutely interested in expanding my network. And I said, well, then tell me what your sweet spot is, what it is you're looking for. Because we can't pretend, we can't just go up and say, oh, you need to come to Business Over Coffee and blah, 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 and just throw up on them. You have to find out where people are coming from, not just in what they're buying or selling, but what their whole lifestyle is about and what their boundaries are. And are they going to have to give up working out from 6 to 7 in the morning in order to be at a 7 o'clock meeting, etc. So I think the authenticity is about seeking first to understand where other people are coming from, what they stand for and what they're about.
And we also have not-for-profit businesses represented, and a lot of that, I think, goes back to the concept of servant leaderships in a not-for-profit.
Absolutely. I wanted to just chat with you for a moment while we're waiting on Bob about the evolution of collaboration, and that's a lot of what we're talking about here. When you collaborate with someone, that is giving a part of yourself. And one of the things in Bob's book and you read the book, Richard, you read the book, how many have read the book outside of, okay, and Delmar has read the book. We're passing this around with our executive council, our advisors, our tech team, all of our teams, our hospitality teams, because it's so important to understand. What he talks about is how we breathe in, everybody breathe in, and how we breathe out. And how that it is a law that you must be able to receive as well. Have you ever said, oh, I don't want that, don't do that for me, but then you understood the law of sowing and reaping?
And if I am not willing to accept the gift from you, you are not able to get the receipt. You are not able to receive the blessing of giving. Exactly. So he equates that to breathing in and breathing out. You cannot just breathe in all the time. So you take. You must also breathe out to give. But again, you can't just give all the time where you're breathing out all the time. You must breathe in and receive. So that was one of the main things I took away from this book. Yes. What was your standout point in The Go-Giver? Gosh, there were so many. First of all, I mean, selfishly, one of the things that I saw is that we were so in alignment in what it was we were saying, and Deborah's already hit on it, the authenticity. I mean, you can't give out what you don't have. So if you are not authentically operating with people, if you don't have it inside, you can't give it away. And that's when you're sending a mixed message. Someone may hear the words that you're saying, but they're going, there's something about this that just doesn't feel right. Yes, exactly. Do you have him back? We're working on getting him back. We're going to continue with the conversation and a few other things. Gina?
I wanted to point out that the book that he has is available on the Send Out Card website. So that's one way you can obtain the book.
Yes. And what is the Send Out Card website?
www.sendoutcards.com. Then you want to, if you've already got an account, you just log in. If you don't want to have an account, you'd like to establish one, then you need to put in Gina.
Can you hear me?
Yay.
Yes, we can.
Welcome back.
Okay, I can't hear you, and I don't know if you can. I don't think he can see me because it says my video is turned off.
Okay, we're typing to him to let him know that we can hear him.
Oh dear.
For those of you that, how many of you are familiar with social media? Okay, good. So you know that we can communicate with him, typing.
Okay, I think you can hear me. Just so you know, I'm trying to get off Google Plus. I think what's happening is because my computer won't let me get off Google Plus. It's keeping me on. It's not allowing my video to work. So as soon as I can get off Google Plus.
He does know we can hear him, correct?
I probably, now I don't know why you can't hear me though, that's the problem
that's what she's typing to him. Have you typed to him to stay on
I mean, I don't know why I can't hear you.
We will type our
yeah,
question.
See, you can hear me. I can't hear you though, unfortunately, at all.
Yes. Just let him know.
Okay, where was the part? Where was the part that you lost picture and hearing? Okay.
I don't remember. Just tell him to pick up with the breathing in and out segment.
I don't think I was ever on the breathing in and breathing out segment.
Tell him, Sherry.
It says pick up with the breathing out and breathing in segment. And I don't think that's going to make sense, you know, if I just go to that because I think most people in the room haven't read the book, so they're not going to really understand that until I put it in context.
Start with chapter 1.
Left out on money. Oh wow, money being a means of okay. That was a while back. Wow. Okay, so we did talk about. Okay. I'm still trying. You know what? You know what might be better? Let me shut down and try to get back on Google Plus Hangout again. So give me about. Okay, thanks. Give me about 3 minutes. I apologize. I don't know what's
no
happening.
problem. I tell you what, while he's doing that, everybody stand up, find somebody you have not talked to, give them your card, tell them about yourself, grab a cup of coffee, and then we will reconvene.
There you go.
Sarah, you look so beautiful.
I
love that outfit.
Thank you. I feel really old. I love it.
But it's a good thing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Let me see your shoes.
If I can walk in, I actually had some other ones I ordered to wear with this. They're like cream color. And I was hoping that they were going to be in by today. They're coming in today. So.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
I know. But the heels are about the same. I'm not wearing heels like that often. I wish I could, but I trip over my own feet.
Yeah, that's fine. It happens. But you look beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate it. For those of you who are watching live, Bob Burg is coming back with us, and right now we are networking. So you can go ahead and shoot some messages to us on the live social stream, which you can find on Ustream, also on Twitter at BOCoffee, hashtag BOCI, also on Facebook, Business Over Coffee. And any conversation out there, share with us your business, give us your URL, your web address, your Twitter handle, your name. We would love to know that you are listening, that you are following us, and what you have heard from Bob Burg so far, and from BOCI, and all the things that are going on here. Remember to go to our site at businessovercoffee.biz and sign up. And also remember that you always roll with whatever happens, because when there's tech problems, and there's going to be tech problems, then you go on to the next topic. So, you stay right where you are, tell us about you, we're telling each other about each other here in the crowd, and then we'll be right back with you.
That's what I've got to work on before I can
figuring out how to do that. I don't know how
Free muffins, y'all. Cookies.
I have one of those.
For you guys.
We know what it's about. Should we take a picture?
And I had somebody actually helping with that already.
Everything going good there?
Hey, Gina.
Yes.
Did you put this back over there?
I will. Gina, did you hang up on that Google Hangout?
I don't know what happened to it. It's gone.
I'll go and oh no, I got it. Actually, next periodically. I was going to strike.
When I'm in Memphis, you're going to
Yes, we are. We're going to show you. Okay, if everybody can make your way back to your seats. And again, to the live virtual audience, hello to everyone. I'm Sherry Henley, founder of BOCI. We encourage you to go to our website, businessovercoffee.biz, and sign up for your complimentary profile. We want to see you there. As everyone is making your way back to your seats, I would like to talk about, as we're waiting on Bob Burg, and we still have Francis Fabian, Dr. Francis Fabian, coming up from the University of Memphis to tell us about a research project for business owners, and it's very, very exciting. And next week, does anyone know what's happening next week on Thursdays? Always from 9 to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We have what on the fourth Thursday? What's it called? Share. BOCI Share. Did everyone get one of these? Make sure you did. This is a list of our events. We do have Bob Burg live. We'll be going to him in just a moment. But remember, next week, 9 to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, we will be both virtual and we will also be live right here at BOCI headquarters. And it's going to be a great topic. You can read all about it on our site at businessovercoffee.biz and see what we're talking about when you are changing, when you're in transition. And it will be an interview with a live audience with great guests, and Carolyn Bindle as the host, which is our executive council as well. I would also like to let you know again that we are live around the world. We have upwards towards 6,000 virtual listeners, as well as we have 1,080 to be exact. We've grown about 40 members in the past few weeks, and that is since April 2011. And our anniversary is coming up, everybody. So we started with 8 people in 2011, and here we have, what did I say? What was the number of members? 1,080. Okay, put your hands together and welcome back Bob Burg.
So, not sure either way on that one. I hope it's not my computer, but I really don't know. Hopefully this one will go straight through. So from what I understand, we were kind of together up to the point where I was talking about the being nice, while that's a great thing in and of itself, is not enough to make one successful. Did we get to that?
Yes.
At that point?
Yes.
Okay. And so then I wanted to answer the question about go-giver and go-getter. Were you with me when we were talking about that, or no?
No.
No.
Okay, this is it in a nutshell then. Basically, people wonder if when we say the go-giver, if we're saying that being a go-getter is no longer valid, or if that is not an issue or a negative in some way. And the answer is not at all. Being a go-getter is very, very important, because go-getters take action. They get things done. All of us in this room, being business people, we all know that we can have the best thoughts, the best ideas, the best intent in the world, but unless action is put into the mix, absolutely nothing's going to happen. It cannot happen without it. So being a go-getter is very important. The good thing is there's no natural division between being a go-getter and a go-giver. Many go-getters are also go-givers. Every go-giver is also a go-getter. The opposite of go-giver then is not a go-getter. The opposite of a go-giver is a go-taker. And that would be that person who feels almost entitled, if you will, to take without having added value to the person, to the process, to the situation. And most of us know these kinds of people, and they can be good people, but they tend to feel very frustrated by the fact that they very rarely obtain the kind of financial and business success and sense of general happiness that they feel they deserve. And even when they do, it tends to be short-lived because it's not built on the correct foundation. Also, they tend to think everybody else is naive but them. And so when we say go-giver, we're simply talking about that man or woman who has learned, or has perhaps intuitively always known, that it's that person who who's able to shift their focus, who's able to live with an other focus, who's able to move from I to other, focused on creating value for others. In other words, creating value for the marketplace. That's the person who accomplishes the most. There's nothing naive about that. There's nothing about that that's foo-foo or low or way out there. This is how free markets work, which is that to the degree that people are left to trade freely with one another, create value for value exchanges freely, without unnecessary government interference, aside from protecting the citizenry against force and fraud. That's the degree that the people who give the most also receive the most. That's how markets work, okay? Because remember, people don't buy things for your benefit. They buy things for their own benefit, which they should, okay? And that's why it's that focus on pleasing others, on bringing value to others, that works so well and what allows free markets to work. So we talk about five laws, okay? And the laws are the laws of value, compensation, influence, authenticity, and receptivity. And I'll do a quick Reader's Digest version of each one, and then we can just open it up to questions for the rest of the time, because I know we've gone probably far over your time that you have, and I apologize for whatever part my computer played in this in delays. The laws. Thank you. The law of value simply says your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. Now, this sounds counterintuitive at first, almost a little counterproductive. Wait a second. How do you give more in value than you take in payment and make a profit? How do you give more in value than you take in payment and survive in your business, never mind thrive? I mean, if more in value than you take in payment sounds like a recipe for bankruptcy. So we need to understand something very important, and that is the difference between price and value. See, price is a dollar figure. It's a dollar amount. It's finite. It is what it is. Value, on the other hand, is the relative worth or desirability of a thing to the end user. In other words, what is it about this thing, this product, service, concept, idea, that brings with so much worth or so much value that someone will willingly exchange their money for this value and be ecstatic that they did while you make a very healthy profit? I often give the example, a very quick example, for a small business person of an accountant, okay? Someone who sells their accounting services. And let's say you hire this person to do your tax returns, and they charge you $1,000. Well, that's their fee or their price, $1,000. But what value do they give you in exchange? Well, they save you $5,000 in your taxes. They save you hours and hours of work that you would have to do to get it done yourself. And they provide you with the security and the peace of mind of knowing it was done correctly. So what they did is this person gave you well over $5,000 in value, much more actually, because the peace of mind is worth, and the hours saved worth much more than that, but gave you well over $5,000 value in exchange for a $1,000 price. So you feel ecstatic about it. You got much more value than what you paid for, but he also made a very healthy profit, which he should. That's a small business. Let's look at Disney World, a great big business. You take your family to Disney World, you pay money for it. Hey, it's not cheap there, it's very expensive. But what value do you get from it? You get the joy of it. You get the life experience of it. You've been able to give your children a wonderful, wonderful experience, some memories that will be treasured within the family forever. Whatever the experience, the value, because remember, it's relative, worth or desire, it's whatever you got out of it. But most people who come away from Disney World think two things about it. One, they can't wait to go back again. And number two, they feel the need to tell everyone about it. Okay, because you got more in value than what you paid for, and Disney made a very healthy profit, which they should have. This is the kind of relationship we want to have with anyone with whom we do business. We give them such a unique, amazing, exceptional buying experience that they feel as though they receive much more in value than what they paid for, which they did, and in exchange, we make a very, very significant profit. This happens through that shift in focus. See, when we are focusing on ourselves and we're focusing on the money, it's going to take away from the experience that person has. We're not focused. We're not customer-centric. We're not customer-focused. And they know this, and they're much less likely to do business with us, and even if they do, much less likely to value the experience to the degree that they can. On the other hand, when they know we are focused on pleasing them, make their life better, easier, richer, more whatever it is that we bring through our value, they feel great about us. And they're much more likely to exchange their money for this value. And that's why, and this is so important, that's why we say that money is simply an echo of value. It's the thunder to value's lightning. In other words, the value comes first, and the money is simply a natural and direct result of the value you've provided. Okay?
I love that.
So that's, in a nutshell, well, thank you. That's law number one, the law of value. Okay, I'll try to go quicker through these. Law number two is the law of compensation. The law of compensation says your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. So where law number one says to give more in value than you take in payment, law number two tells us that the more people whose lives we add this kind of exceptional value to, the more money with which we'll be rewarded. Let's go back to your accountant in the first example. He did a great job of giving you more in value than he took in payment. So if you're his client, you feel great about him, you do business with him again, and you tell other people you'd refer him to others. Well, his other clients feel the same way. So our accountant is very quickly amassing what we call an army of personal walking ambassadors. And as he continues to add that kind of exceptional value to the lives of more and more people, his income will continue to grow. Those of you who read The Go-Giver, who read the story, might remember Nicole Martin, the CEO, explaining to Joe that as important as law number 1 is, providing great value, that represents only your potential income. Because providing great value to one person probably isn't going to bring you in a whole lot of money. Law number 2, that represents your actual income. That's the impact you make on the lives of many people. So we can do a very quick summary of laws 1 and laws 2 by saying exceptional value plus significant reach equals very high compensation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Law number 3 is the law of influence. And the law of influence simply says that your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. Again, counterproductive at best, perhaps downright Pollyanna-ish at worst. And yet notice that the greatest leaders, the top influencers, and the highest producing salespeople, this is how they run their lives and conduct their business. They find ways to put other people's interests first. Now, let me qualify that for a moment. When we say place other people's interests first, we do not in any way mean that you should be anybody's doormat, that you should be a martyr, or that you should be self-sacrificial in any way. It's not what we're saying at all. It's simply as 2 of the mentors, Ernesto and Sam, told Joe, the protege, the golden rule of business simply says that all things being equal, people will do business with and refer business to those people they know, like, and trust. And there's no powerful or more effective way to elicit those feelings toward you and others than by, again, shifting that focus. Temporarily suspending, if you will, your self-interest in order to look for ways to provide value to the other person. We do this from the first moment we meet them, through the questions we ask, through our focus on them rather than telling them about our business. We ask them how they got started in their business, what they enjoy most about it. Maybe we ask what I call the 1 key question. If this person's in sales, we say, hey Joe or hey Mary, how can I know if somebody I'm talking to would be a good prospect for you? Or if they're not in sales, but we can always say, how can I know if somebody I'm talking to is someone you'd like to meet? You know, whatever way that you can provide value and communicate that desire to provide value to another person, that's what you want to do. And you keep building upon that throughout the relationship. Law number 4 is the law of authenticity. And the law of authenticity simply says the most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. In the story, Deborah Davenport learned a very important lesson early in her career, and that is all the skills in the world, the sales skills, technical skills, people skills, as important as they are, and they are indeed very, very important, they're also all for naught if you don't come at it from your true, authentic core. Now, when you do, when you show up as yourself, when you show up day after day, week after week, month after month as you, when you show up in integrity, and I love how Gandhi defined integrity as when everything you think and everything you feel and everything you say and everything you do are in alignment. People feel good about you. They know you. They like you. They trust you. They respect you. They are attracted to you. People seek out congruency. And one of the keys to being authentic is to understand the value that you do provide. We all have 2 types of value. We have intrinsic value just by being born. We also have market value. And I define market value as simply those traits, strengths, characteristics that allow you to bring your unique form of value to the marketplace and serve others. It might be something that you do that's different from other people, or it just might be something you do with such excellence that it's hard for other people to match you. It doesn't matter. We all have various forms of value we bring to the marketplace. Deborah in the story learned it at the very last minute and by mistake. That's not what you want to do. You want to proactively determine the market value, and that's why it's great to have a coach, mentor, someone like a Sherry, someone who who can take enough of a look, who cares about you, and at the same time can be objective enough. Because what happens is a lot of times the reason we may not come across as authentic is because we don't understand we have such big value to offer that our sense of authentic self is enough. And it is enough, but we first got to tap into our authenticity. I can't tell you how many times I was mentoring someone and the person has told me something they've done or they do, and I said, wow, that's brilliant, that's amazing. And their response has been, oh, no, everybody knows that, or everybody does that. And they weren't being falsely modest. Really, they didn't know. They didn't understand that it was so exceptional what they do, the value they bring to the table. Why? Because again, as human beings, we're too close to ourselves. We're too emotionally involved with ourselves. And remember, whether we put on our 10,000 hours of deliberate practice, as that study by Anders talked about, that Gladwell talked about in his book, Outliers, or Jeff Colvin in his book, Talent is Overrated, whether we put on that 10,000 hours of deliberate practice or we're naturally good at something, usually it's a combination of both, we're so used to it that we don't necessarily see its value to others. But unless we do, we're not going to tap into our true authentic core, because we won't feel that our authentic core is enough. But it is. But it is. Law number 5 is the law of receptivity. And this simply says the key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. Sherry had mentioned earlier, you breathe out, you breathe in. You can't do one or the other. It's both. You can't just breathe out, can't just breathe in. We breathe out oxygen, we breathe in carbon dioxide. We breathe out, which is giving. We breathe in, which is receiving. Big mistake people make is what John and I call the treacherous dichotomy, or the false dilemma. A false dilemma can be defined as the unnecessary use of the word or, right? Yeah, when you were growing up, did anyone ever ask, hey, when you get older, do you want to be wealthy or happy? As though it's one or the other, right? How about both? You know?
Oh, yeah.
Do you breathe out or do you breathe in? Of course, you do both, okay? See, people think that giving and receiving are opposites. They're not. They're not two opposites. They're simply opposite sides of the very same coin, and they work in tandem, okay? The key is that, you know, when you give, again, we're talking about value. When you give value to others, you need to be willing and able to receive, because all the giving in the world, all the giving of value in the world, it's great, but it's all for naught if you're not willing to allow yourself to receive in like measure. Because if you don't, you're shutting down the natural flow. Remember, the waves, the tide goes out and it comes in. It doesn't just stay out and it doesn't just come in. Okay, it's cyclical. But here's the key. See, people have, because of the lack messages that society gives us, and basically, you know, most people get this as a combination of upbringing, environment, schooling, media, television shows, movie scripts. You know, most movies tend to have two main types of characters. Most of the top-selling movies. My friend, prosperity and abundance expert Randy Gage, talks about this quite a bit, that most movies tend to have two types of people in it. There are the good people, who are typically portrayed as being poor, but happy. They're always poor, but happy, right? But they're always being stepped on, pushed down, pushed around, and taken advantage of by who? The rich people, who are mean and nasty and cowardly and have no soul. Well, these are the kind of messages that we've gotten since birth from all of society. The lack messages, the anti-prosperity messages, and by the way, it's not like there's any you know, a conspiracy or anything to keep us mentally broke. It's just how it is. It's just the way of the world, which is why we've got to actively feed our minds with prosperity thinking. Read books on prosperity, listen to CDs and audios of prosperity, you know, and do that. And so here's the thing. So here's the last point I want to make about this. It's not a matter of just giving and receiving, okay? It's a matter of where the focus goes. The suggestion is this: Focus on the giving. Again, that when we say giving, we mean providing value to others. Focus on the giving, but then allow the receiving. Focus on the giving. Allow the receiving. If you have given value to people on an ongoing, everyday basis, you have earned the right to receive, not the entitlement, the right to receive. But you've got to be willing to accept it. If you do, that's when you live in abundance. Okay? So that is pretty much it. Now, Sherry, I've got some time for question and answer. I do have another interview right at the top of the hour, but I am totally good till that time. So if anybody has questions, please feel free to go right up to about 2 minutes till the hour.
Okay, we are going to have 3 questions from the audience, and then we'll wrap up so you have enough time to get on to your interview. So let's open up for 3 questions. Mary Senior.
I have a question. I love what you described to us this morning, and it's something that I think we can all learn from. One of the questions that I have is, when you live as long as I have, you're now looking back to try to see how you can give in ways for your children and grandchildren to understand some of these laws. What are some ways that you've seen that work when you're trying to inspire our youth, which I feel are so disengaged to this give concept?
Well, they're going to first follow what they see you doing. Actually, I guess you could say they're going to follow half of what you do right and all of what you do wrong. So first is what? Example. But it's also teaching these lessons, and it's knowing enough to know how to teach in a way they don't feel, of course, they're being taught down to, but you're just sharing these examples with them. Also, remember, they're hit all day with, these horrible CEOs and leaders who are just so greedy and money. But you know what? That's what makes the press. But that's not how it usually is. A book like The Millionaire Next Door is a great book because it shows that most millionaires, aside from pretty much being self-made in terms of they weren't millionaires before. I mean, but it shows that they're good, hard-working people who provided value to the marketplace. A book like Jim Collins' Good to Great shows the level 5 leaders are the ones that put the interest of those they lead first. Okay, so let them see the stories. The mainstream media is going to show you all the reasons why money is bad and corrupts people and that wealthy people are bad. I don't know why. Again, it's not a conspiracy thing. It's just what sells. So you've got to show them the examples. Share with them the Richard Bransons and share with them the people who create and people who do great things. And again, not just the Bransons who are the super wealthy, but that guy on the corner who lives a great life, or the woman on the corner who lives a wonderful life because she's always finding ways to provide value to others. And then a couple of good books I'm going to recommend, okay? One is, first, Think and Grow Rich, which I'm sure you've already read, by Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich is a great book showing how when you focus on providing value to others, you're going to have a definitive goal and that you're persistent, that you do the right things, you're going to accomplish a lot, okay? Books like The Magic of Thinking Big. Now, this book was written in 1950, I think, by Dr. David Schwartz. That's another book that's going to help them get past their fears, get past their blocks, and understand why it's so important to focus on success and bringing value to others. A book for you, for everybody in this room, and then you can teach these principles, and it's called Psycho-Cybernetics. It was written in 1960, as some of you have read it, by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. He's going to show you where pre-programmed unconscious thinking brings us, and then how we can shift that around to consciously direct our thoughts to where we want to go. So these are just some of the books, some of the resources that you can then, and then, you know, there's more modern books. The Compound Effect by, oh shoot, I can't think of his name right now, and I apologize. And then there's Darren Hardy's, Darren Hardy has a great book out, and a couple of them are for kids. So remember the name Darren Hardy? He's the publisher of Success Magazine. He has a great book out, and kids should read this book. And then Jeff Olson has The Compound Effect. It's either The Slight Edge, okay, one of them wrote The Slight Edge, the other wrote The Compound Effect. Get both of those, and I think they're coming out in kids' versions. But these are all the books that's going to put the right stuff in these kids' minds. Did that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Is that all right? Okay, thank you.
Okay, Bob, we have one more question because in interest of time, and that's going to come from Shelley Bauer.
Hi, Shelley.
Hi there. Boy, I have been a big fan of your books forever, from Giver's Gain to Endless Referrals to, let's see, did you do Giver's Gain? I know you did Endless Referrals.
Giver's Gain is my friend Dr. Ivan Meisner. That's the, yeah, that's for their group BNI. And he wrote, I don't know if he had a book by that title, but that's pretty much his moniker.
Right.
That he's a great friend and a terrific guy.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. My question is, if someone hadn't been here for the 20 or 30 minutes that we've been talking, and they walked in and said, if you could summarize what you would want someone to present themselves to be, how they would show up in the world, what would you say in 60 seconds or less?
I would just say it's shifting your focus from yourself to bringing value to others. You're going to profit the most financially, as well as the other areas of life that are important.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Again, though, when you say something, and thank you, and I appreciate that, but you also have to make sure that when you say something like that as a soundbite, okay, that you also let them know that placing other people's interests first does not mean that they're a doormat. Okay, it's not like, oh, nice and taken advantage of. I would say if you're nice and being taken advantage of, it's not because you're nice. It's because you're doing things in such a way that you allow yourself to be taken advantage of.
Good advice. Thank you.
Outstanding. Bob, I would like to mention to our virtual audience and also to all of the audience here about your radio interview that we did on BOCI Talk Radio. And I want to commend you as you live what you teach, because as a go-giver, you actually, when I contacted your publicist and said, would you be willing to come in for just 5 minutes, because I know your time is valuable, and you said, sure, I'll do 30. And here you've even given more than that. So we personally want to thank you for that, from the audience and the virtual.
My pleasure. I appreciate you very much. And if people would like to visit my site, it's Burg, and that's burg.com. It's just burg.com. And while you're there, you can subscribe to my influence and success updates. Check out my blog with tons of information on it. And what you might want to do, and write this down because this is kind of fun, if you go to www.burg.com/TGG, as in the go-giver. So it's burg.com/TGG, and click enter. You'll see a really cool, fun little 4.5-minute animated video that does the summation of the go-giver. So we just have had that out for about a week, and it's kind of going crazy over the internet right now. So we're pretty tickled about that.
Yes, your blog is fabulous, and I want to do a shout out. We have a Ustream viewer that has said it's Lene, I believe, Hansen, Lenee, and she says, love, show up as yourself. And that's one of the things that I actually mentioned later on in a different BOCI Talk Radio. about that particular segment and what you said about showing up as yourself. In addition, we have several Twitter followers that have followed during this time, and we want to mention those as well. We're bringing those up as we speak. We have Stage B Jewelry, James Spinlow, MD Appeal Mahmood, Jonah Lupton, Plus My Love, and Julie Kolovetsky. So I just wanted to let you know, Bob Burg, that all of us here as well are so honored that you have joined our platform. I will see you on April 23rd right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you so much for joining us from Florida. You are the go-giver. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, what did everybody think?
Oh, fantastic.
That was fabulous. And we are now really on a time crunch, and we're very good about ending right at 11. So if I could get someone to turn the lights up, we are now going to bring up our very special guest that took time out of her busy schedule as well as all of you did. Dr. Frances Fabian from the University of Memphis Entrepreneurship Program. Before I hand you this microphone, first of all, I would like to talk about how Dr. Frances is a giver. She contacted me and asked me to come and speak to the entrepreneurship class that she teaches for graduates and also undergrads. And I was so happy and honored that she had contacted me, and I went out and spoke. And that is where I met Cheryl Hurley, who you have seen quietly sitting up here as a beautiful blogger, not just a blogger. And she is blogging live. You can find her at thestylistquo.com, also on Twitter at thestylistquo. And then Cheryl became a professional boost intern with BOCI. Also, Beverly is an alumni and Lois is an alumni of our professional boosters. So I'm going to be bringing Lois up to talk about her business in just a moment. But first, I would like for Cheryl to talk about your experience here, but also your experience with Dr. Frances Fabian, and then give Dr. Frances the microphone.
Thank you. You might want to stand.
I'm trapped. Well, as Sherry said, I've been a professional boost intern for a few months now, and the experience that I've gained here is invaluable, learning how to present myself to businesses and really just developing the confidence to go and do that in that world. And on the same note with Dr. Fabian, she really convinced us in the class that entrepreneurship is within reach. You know, you can do this, and she forced us to go out into the community and become involved. And by forcing us, by it being required, I think we all learned how valuable that is. So since I started with the internship and in Dr. Fabian's class, I did start my own social media marketing business. So I guess what they're doing really does work. And we're called SP Modern Media, and we provide unique solutions for social media to connect you and your business to your potential customers and current customers. So that's what we do, and this is Dr. Frances Fabian.
All right.
Okay, well, I'm very gratified to see a student doing so well. And I already gave a heads up to Shirley and Sherry. They are my role models. I have no idea what they're taking, but the energy and the commitment and the perseverance, you don't see, slim, I suppose. You do not see organizations grow this fast. Yeah, coffee. So I want to give those of you who are listening a chance to give. I thought I'll just go ahead and segue right into that. I do want to let you know that the University of Memphis is itself trying to be a very giving organization in the community in the area of entrepreneurship. We have a Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, which is for Shelby County residents and provides feedback and mentoring. We have a Ventures Cruise Lab that's coming up, Cruise Venture Lab, that will be opening up for faculty and students to help have a innovation lab to get started. We also have, of course, the courses, and just generally, I believe that you'd find the university Our president went to the White House to promote entrepreneurship here in Memphis, the president of the university. So I just want to really stress that we do see this as the future of Memphis. So you just heard about Go Giving, and I'm in a role of both giving and receiving here because I'm trying to give to my PhD student. So to graduate from college, or to graduate with your PhD, you have to do a huge dissertation and research project. And the big magic of research is the size of your sample. The bigger your sample and the more real it is, then the higher chance you have of getting it published. It gets published, the University of Memphis's name is out there, it's all good, it all comes back in the universe to you. So what I need though, is I need givers who can give 15 to 20 minutes of their time to do this psychology study. It's a decision-making study, and we need real people who are entrepreneurs. So what it is it's an online survey, and I'm going to give you the website, tell you a little about the survey, and give you that address again. The name of the PhD student is where he's made the website, is www.Kinnaman. The student's name is Eric Kinnaman. As he says, it is cinnamon with a K, okay? So www.kinnaman.net. Yes, he's a PhD student, he doesn't have a .com, he's got a .net. Okay, kinnaman.net. It'll be /research/. Okay, so www.kinnaman.net/research/. What they will do is give you an entry page to a survey. Here's the important thing. We had to make sure it wasn't easily hacked. And so we had to give it a special little code so that you could enter into it. The code is TM01. Okay, so you're going to enter that code twice because by our human subjects requirements for when we do research, we need to make sure that there is no identifying information that could be hacked into and associated with your survey answers. So what happens is you go into a survey, you give TM01, you will answer a couple of questions that will allow you to get a gift card drawing potential, and then you will be taken to a new screen and it will say, give me your code. It's going to be the same code again, TM01. That keeps it from being hacked, and the reason you have to do it twice is to assure anonymity between your identifying name and identifiers and the actual survey answers. So believe me, you don't want to deal with the regulatory hurdles of giving surveys and samples and research today, but we have done everything we can on that. So that's really the giving opportunity that I'm offering those 6,000 viewers, I hope, or as many as I can get. The larger our sample, the higher reliability we get, and certainly the higher chance we have of publication.
I would like to have you on the radio show. We'll talk about that so that you can get some more.
We are trying to get that number up. We'll hit a magic number. We're going to try to wind this up in the next 2 weeks or so. So I am kind of pushing now as we look at our, we call them the N's, or the sample size. So this is my giving to my PhD students, but hopefully if we get this published, I'll get out of it too.
Can you send this to me in script on email, and then we will have our team shoot it out to all of our members as well?
You got it. I would love that.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody, thank you for Dr. Francis Fabian. Thank you so much for all the work you're doing so right away before this ends. Okay, before this ends. Now, I want to say we've got just about 60 seconds. First of all, I want to tell you about the pilot. Can we go to Business Over Coffee real quick and pull up the pilot TV? I want to mention Lois Riley Durham. Would you stand and tell everyone, come here for just a quick second, and tell everyone about the video blog you did last night and about LRD and why it is that you were the one chosen to do that, because we want to know what you do. Lois is one of our alumni of Professional Boost.
I can mic and everything. Hi everyone, I'm Lois Riley Durham. I have my own business called LRD, Virtual Administrative Service. Basically I do web design, social media, and administrative support. Sherry came to me and asked, since I do audio and video editing and stuff like that, how would I go about, putting the videos from Ustream to YouTube and then put it on the BOCI site, as well as putting it on the blog and getting all that going. So we talked, and now it's on the site.
It's out there. There we go.
Yay.
And we can find you how?
You can actually go to my site. It's lrdvirtualadminservice.com, or you can just type in my name, loisraleighdurham.com. It goes to the same page.
And you've been with us for 2 years, so congratulations on your business success and how you're doing. Everybody give Lois a hand clap. And real quick, I want to mention April is going to be the Tennessee National Humor Month with World Laughter Tour and Deborah Norwood. Would you wave at everyone? And the lights are going out, but I actually wanted to recognize Mary Singer, because Mary, I did not personally get to recognize you. And I want you to know what an honor it is that you have come out to be with us today. Can I get you to come up here for just a moment? And I'm going to twist your arm, because I would love for you to come back to a Click and Connect as our special guest speaker and tell us about what you do, not just our audience here, but also our virtual audience. And just come up here a moment, and I want to ask you one question. If you can tell me succinctly in 60 seconds how you became so successful at what you do.
It's a lot of what we've been talking about this morning, looking at ways you can give. I think that we all have opportunities to learn things in our life, but how do you look around and see ways that you can give back to others? And so my nonprofit work, helping women get certified, that has been so uplifting to me, to see women that have tried in our community to be able to do work and they've not been able to. And then we help them get certified, and these large corporations seek them out, like CVS Pharmacy. They get 14 contracts. That makes me so delighted in so many ways. And it inspires me to continue to listen to the big picture and then break it down into smaller conversations that we can be successful with.
And it's your heart. We shared 2 hours at Panera Bread, and it was fabulous. So I'm not going to ask for a yes right now, but I am going to say I have your arm twisted for a Click and Connect, also for a BOCI talk radio interview, and a sit-down interview. So thank you so
break that
much.
conversation down.
Thank you so much.
Thank
We will
you.
learn more. Everyone, put your hands together for Mary Singer. And we are now going to wrap up with Marcus Kent Hansen, who is the editor of the pilot show for Rising Fire Productions. And I don't expect you to sit here and watch this, but what we're going to do as we wrap up, we're going to play it as you network. So you will hear the show running, and it features SunTrust and the evolution of collaboration. Did I miss anybody today? The BOCI Tech Team, come on everybody, give it up for the BOCI Tech Team. You just cannot imagine the hustle and bustle when we come in here in the mornings at 7:30 on Thursdays. Yes, Marcus can. And Deborah, would you just give us a real quick 30-second shout out about the, from where you are, about the Tennessee National Humor Month?
BOCI is co-sponsoring Tennessee National Humor Month. We're going to be honoring people, and we're going to be going to companies and corporations, libraries all across Tennessee, talking about the positive benefits of humor and laughter. If you want to join as a co-sponsor or want a laughter event in your business, please contact BOCI and me.
Thank you so much. And memberships, you can talk to any one of our advisors or executive council. Please stand if you are an advisor or executive council so people know where to find you. And Marcus, tell us about Rising Fire and how we collaborated on this.
This whole collaboration actually started with Carolyn Bendel. You were looking for someone to shoot something, and you had something lined up and it fell through, and she, having worked with Carolyn before, she says, hey, call these guys, and you had met Lazarus actually at another event.
A radio launch, yes.
Radio launch, and so when I talked to him about it, and he, I said, this is our company, he said, oh, Sherry Henley? Okay, yeah, let's do it. and so we've filmed 4 episodes so far, the 3rd one is up now, and it's a lot of work, and but it's a lot of fun as well. It's what we really enjoy doing.
Right here you are, Rising Fire Productions, everybody.
Put a lot of work and passion into what we do, and everything we do, if it is not absolute perfect. We don't want
Yes.
anyone to see it. So.
Exactly. And you get a discount to BOCI
Yes.
professional members, and this is top-notch, upscale TV, even if you want just a 1-minute commercial or you want a 30-minute episode. So everybody, network, we're going to play the pilot. You can kind of walk by and listen. And we only went over by 4 minutes today. Thank you so much, everybody. Beverly, yes? We're not going to do a drawing today, but everybody, continue bringing everyone together.